Good morning, everyone. Today's histology lecture is on esophagus, and we are going to start with the learning objectives. At the end of the lecture, the students should be able to firstly identify the microscopic section of the esophagus, discuss the various histological layers of the esophagus, and lastly discuss its applied aspect. Now, before coming over here, I just want you to look at these terms: the achalasia cardia. Next, Barrett esophagus. Okay, so please remember these two terms and we'll discuss them at the end of the lecture. Now, for histological description, the esophagus may be divided into three parts. This is the thoracic esophagus. The cervical part, we'll talk about the thoracic esophagus that's divided into an upper, middle, and a lower thoracic esophagus. And then we have the abdominal esophagus. Like, like we've discussed before, the general plan of the GIT, the esophagus is a long hollow tube and it's going to consist of basically the four layers: the innermost mucosa, this is your mucosa, the submucosa, the muscularis externa, and the adventitia. Right, adventitia over here because this is an extraperitoneal organ, thoracic esophagus. Coming firstly to the mucosa, which is the innermost lining, the mucosa of the esophagus further consists of three parts: an inner lining, this is the inner lining of non keratinized, stratified squamous epithelium. So, can you see this? The lumen side, this is the mucosa, and this is your stratified squamous non keratinized epithelium. Now, we have an underlining thin layer of lamina propria over here. Okay, and then this is a lymphatic nodule found in the lamina propria. It is forming indentations. Then we have a layer of longitudinal smooth muscle cell over here, that is the muscularis mucosae, and this is shown in the transverse plane. Right, so the connective tissue of the papilla of this is the lamina propria, they tend to indent the epithelium, it is indenting, making some indentations in the epithelium, and found in the lamina propria are small blood vessels. Can you appreciate these are the small blood vessels over here? Diffuse lymphatic tissue and a small lymphatic nodule over here. Coming to the submucosa, the next layer. Now this is a wide layer and consists of dense irregular connective tissue and often contain the adipose tissue over here. So this is the submucosa, a wide layer of the submucosa containing adipose tissue. Also, we have the mucus acini. This is the mucus acini, pale staining mucus acini of the esophageal glands proper are present in the mucosa at intervals and is present throughout the length of the esophagus. Right, so the excretory duct number 10. Here are your ducts. Right, this is the excretory duct of the esophageal glands proper. Basically, they pass through the muscularis mucosae. We can see over here it is passing through the muscularis mucosae and the lamina propria over here, and it opens into the esophageal lumen. Right, so the secretions need to be poured inside the lumen, and this is how they are getting poured inside. The dark staining ductal epithelium here, this is the ductal epithelium, merges with the stratified squamous surface of the epithelium of the esophagus. Here is the merging, and there are numerous blood vessels found. This is a venule, this is an arteriole in the connective tissue of the submucosa entire. Located inferior to the submucosa, we have this huge layer, the muscularis externa, composed of two well-defined muscle layers. This is an inner circular muscle layer over here and an outer longitudinal muscle layer over here. In between them, we have the connective tissue, as you can see over here in this slide. Right, so the muscularis externa of esophagus is highly variable, right? So in humans, when we categorize the thoracic esophagus into three parts, the upper, middle, and the lower. Basically, it's talking about this thing only. So the upper third of the muscularis externa basically consists of the striated skeletal muscles. Okay, while the middle third will contain a mixture of both the smooth muscle and the skeletal muscle fiber, whereas the lower third of the esophagus only smooth muscle is present. So here, now coming to the adventitia or the last layer, the adventitia, because this is an extraperitoneal organ, consists of the loose connective tissue that blends with the adventitia of the surrounding structures like the trachea. Also found over here are the adipose tissue. You can see they are the empty looking cells with peripheral nuclei, the artery, this is the vein, and numerous connective tissue fibers in the adventitia. So these are the basic four layers of the esophagus. So coming to the applied aspect, I told you to have a keep this term in mind, that is achalasia cardia or cardiospasm. Basically, this is esophagus, and here this part at the junction of the esophagus and the stomach is a lower esophageal sphincter, right? So what happens is, this is the normal condition. In achalasia cardia, this sphincter doesn't relax. So it doesn't relax, causing the lumen of the esophagus to dilate. Right. So achalasia of the esophagus, basically it is a neuromuscular dysfunction in which this cardiac sphincter, if you remember, the lower end of the esophagus basically contains of smooth muscle cells. It fails to relax during swallowing, and this leads to progressive dysphagia and dilatation of the esophagus. The other condition I mentioned was the Barrett's esophagus. Basically, in this, it follows reflux esophagitis, that is, the stratified squamous epithelium of the lower esophagus is replaced by columnar epithelium, that is, the columnar metaplasia. And this condition is most commonly seen in later ages. Okay, so basically, this talks about a reflux, as in the contents of the stomach come into the esophagus, okay, and that causes this reflux disease. If this advances, okay, and here, if you remember, we have the stratified squamous epithelium in the esophagus. Now this changes into columnar epithelium, that is the Barrett esophagus, and may be a precancerous condition. So if we summarize the histology of the esophagus, this tube that extends from pharynx to stomach, posterior to the trachea, basically penetrating the diaphragm and enter the stomach. The lumen is lined by non-keratinized stratified squamous epithelium. In the upper third, the muscularis externa contains skeletal muscle. In the middle, both smooth and skeletal muscle found in the muscularis externa, and the lower third, the muscularis externa contains smooth muscle. Now, the mucous esophageal glands are present in both the lamina propria and the submucosa of the for lubrication. Adventitia surround the esophagus in the thoracic cavity, and the muscularis mucosae and submucosa from esophagus continue with that of the stomach. So that's about it for today. In the next lecture, we'll talk about the histology of the stomach. Thank you.